Hi everyone, Lori Greenberg here. Trying out a new photo setup. I'm going to give you a walkthrough. I just made a junk journal that I am going to be using for a new challenge that I'm starting. I'll put the name of the challenge in my comments. But anyway, so what I did was I took a bunch of old scraps, some good paper laying around, some stuff that I had previously painted. I don't know why. I save anything that's heavyweight because I make junk journals a lot and the pages really hold up nice. This is actually from a bark box. So I save all my little bark box inserts because, I don't know, their marketing is just adorable. And I figure I can use it for something at some point. Anyway, so I took all these kinds of things, folded them up, put them in between the pages of a piece of paper that I had originally, you can't really see it, but I gessoed over it because I was going to paint on it or do something. Took all of these things, put some regular sketchbook paper in there for if I want to take notes while I go along. So as you can see, here's like watercolor paper, and then I took some acrylic painting stuff that I was messing around with, practicing, and cut that up and just use painter's tape to make it into a full page. Another just sketchbook paper page I bound in. Another piece that I put together. I don't even remember what some of the stuff is. Like I said, I just saved the heavier weight stuff because it makes nice journals. Now, in the blue painter's tape, just using it because it's a temporary fix. I didn't have any clear white, which made me go put a big order in for new tapes that I'm going to try out. But again, when I go through and do this kind of journaling, this will inevitably probably be covered with paint or more papers or paint markers. Because it's painter's tape, I could easily just take it off and replace it with something else too, with no damage to the pages below. So that's why, just for a quick get it together, that's what I do. I only do one side because I don't know what I want to do over here, and like I said, I just needed to hold it together for a minute. This is an old cardstock that I printed, trying to print some little business cards early on before I had my cards made. And of course you can see that the printing is wonky, but it's still kind of cool. And again, I can either cover it up, I can paint over it, I can gesso it. This junk journals are just using up what you have on hand. Just farting around here, trying, I don't know what it was, watercolors. I have no idea how to use watercolors, so that was just seeing what they did. It looks like a hamburger, alien hamburger. Got into my Zen tangling for a while on heavy cardstock, so I cut that up, taped it together when I was drawing mandalas before I made my adult coloring books. So see how this page was just an 8.5 by 11 page. I turned the other way and I folded it so there's only this part here, and then taped on another piece of paper to make a full page. So it's not much to look at right now, but as I go through this challenge, instead of making just a regular sketchbook or using just a regular sketchbook to do the work on, it's all experimental. So when I make these kinds of journals, I don't really worry about messing things up. And that worry is what has kept me from wanting to create in this way in the past, because I thought everything had to be perfect or, just so. When I use junk, I don't worry about messing it up, so I'll be braver in my working. And then as I do that, and maybe I stumble upon a technique or something that I like, I'll take it over to one of my other journals and then translate what I've learned into these pages. Again, here's some experimenting. And this is another one that I made. So again, I can just mess around and not worry about messing up because it's not this pristine, awesome sketchbook, Not that these are so great. These are so much better. They're heavier cardstock and everything. But then I don't have to worry about, oh no, I'm going to mess up a page, which is pretty silly in itself, but that's how I trick my brain into being able to just create and do crazy stuff like this. And, is that great? No. But it got some ideas out. It let me play with materials. It felt good. And if I don't like it, I just move on to the next one. Or I make another journal. Or, you know, lots of unfinished pages in here. But you know what? Maybe one day I'll be bored. I'm like, oh, I want a journal, and I'll write some words in here. Like this one. This was a junk journal that I did the same thing with the pages. See how I pieced them together? This I used washi tape. Here I even used Scotch tape. And I just took all different pieces and pages and taped them together. And then on some I went in and I painted on them. I used markers on them. Haven't gotten to anything on these pages, but as you can see in the earlier pages, I would journal a little bit. Didn't feel like using this whole page, so I went over here and I journaled a little bit here one day, journaled a little bit here one day. All these are different sections. So these pages used to look like this, but now they hold all my thoughts. And no, I'll probably never go back and read them, but it looks kind of cool. You know, and then if I wanted to, this is my writing one, obviously. But if I wanted to, I could just go in and do art on them. Like these. So I love having multiple ones going. I like little ones that I can take on the run if I want to journal in them. Or see, just junk again. I probably won't do anything with that picture, but I might put, you know, a white piece of paper here so I can write, or paint over it, or, you know, little tabs in here are always fun. Old junk mail that I use. So that's what I'm doing. I will put the name of the challenge. I think it's a 2-week thing. To be honest, I haven't, it looked exciting. I wanted to do it, and I didn't read it really thoroughly, but I need to get back into it now, and I will show you my progress as I go along.